Hi everyone. So in this video, we're going to be looking at Amazon EC2 and we'll see what this service is all about. So let's begin with what are EC2 instances. So it is basically one of the most popular AWS services that AWS has to offer, and it is an infrastructure as a service type offering. So what this essentially means is that uh, before obviously like AWS and other cloud platforms, we used to purchase physical servers, and we had to like install the OS in it, or if we needed like a web server, Apache, Nginx or whatever, we had to set it up and have it on our end. So what EC2 is basically is a virtual servers that they offer for rent, and this EC2 forms the basis for like many other AWS services as well. So like over here and like in the diagram, you can see that an EC2 instance consists of these four components. First is the compute capacity, so basically the CPU that you can say. It has the memory, so memory here means basically the RAM that is associated with an instance. Network is basically how the EC2 instance connects with the internet, or how it interacts with even other instances or a DB and so on. As well as storage means that the amount of uh, files or whatever that you can have on that particular instance. So now let's have a look at a live demo on how we can create an EC2 instance and get an Apache server installed on it. So let's go to the AWS console here, and I'm going to go to EC2 instances, and right now I'm on that page. I'm going to click on this button called launch instances. Now here I'm going to give a name, so I'll just give something like EC2 demo. And if you come down to our OS, we have like multitudes of OS available that we can select. I'm just going to now go ahead with the Ubuntu OS, and as you can see, it has a free tier eligible as well. So here we're just going to go ahead with this option. Architecture can be as it is, we're not going to change anything here. And the instance type, so to just give a brief about this, we have a different instance families for EC2. So obviously we have like T2, T3, and then we have the M series. So each of these families have their own capabilities. The T family is generally used for like all purpose and general like computations. Some are optimized for memory, some are optimized for more CPU and so on. So for now, let's just go with the T2.micro, for which we have a free tier eligible, and you can choose a key pair to log in. So if you have like if you have already generated a key pair, you can use that. I already have one, so I'm just going to select that. And coming to our network settings, we already have a VPC and subnet, so don't worry about all of these terms. I'll be explaining all of this in detail in my next videos, in my upcoming videos. So for now, let's just go ahead with the default settings and just allow HTTP traffic from the internet. This would allow us to access our particular instance from the internet itself. Now coming to storage, here we can increase the amount of like memory, or the amount of storage that we require for our instance. And right now let me just keep it at 8 GB, and let's just click on launch instance on the right here. So right now our instance is being initiated. So let's, if I click on this, it'll take me to this particular instance, and I'm going to select this. Let's see, and if I see for additional details, you can see that I have the details for my particular instance. We can go to monitoring a security, which shows our security groups that are attached. So I'll be explaining all of this in my upcoming video on what exactly are security groups, how the networking works, and so on. So for now, let's see. Okay, so now our instance has been updated to a running state. So now let's just try to connect into our instance. Before that, let's go to details, and here we'll see the IP address for our particular instance. So now when I click on open address, Right now it won't really do anything. Let me just like copy this. Right now this will just keep loading since we don't really have a server installed for this. So let's connect to our instance. I'm go back to this page, click on connect, and here in our EC2 instance connect, I'm going to scroll down and click on connect. Now what we're essentially doing is that we're just like SSHing into our particular instance. So this is our instance terminal. I'm going to type in sudo su to operate as a super admin, and first let me type in apt update. Okay, and as you can see, our instance is already able to connect with the internet, and that's why all of these commands are working, because we already have an internet gateway which is attached to our instances on launch. Now to install Apache, I'm going to give apt install Apache 2, and it's asking us, do you want to continue? I'm going to type in yes here, enter, and this is going to install Apache for us. Okay, it's almost done, and once it's done we can type in systemctl status Apache 2, so to check. And over here, as you can see, Apache is active right now and it's in a running state. So now let's go over to our like instance IP address and hit refresh, and you can see that it's working now. Like our default Apache instance is working, and even the we also have a public IPv4 like DNS. So let's copy that and put that in here. And what this should also do is the HTTPS won't work. Let's do http:// this, and as you can see here right now our instance is working. And if you're curious on where this particular HTML is coming from, we can go back to our server, like our instance. I'm going to cd into /var/www. Here when we do an ls, we'll see we have a folder called HTML, so let me go into that. And here we have the index.html, which is by default installed. So let me just modify this. So let me like modify this index.html, and let me go down to this Apache 2 like default page that is there. So I'm going to edit this particular thing to say EC2 demo tutorial, and I'm going to save this, and let's go back to our page and refresh, and you can see this reflects. So this basically the basics of how EC2 works. We obviously this is just like the tip of the iceberg. We have a lot of options, a lot of customizability, and on how we can utilize EC2 for a lot of like complex workflows, because this is where our main application is going to reside in, right? So I'll be going over all of this in more detail in the upcoming video. So thank you so much for looking into this video, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.